Right, it's recording.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the False Nine podcast. My name's Stephen. We've Charlie and Luke with us today. We're just going to go through some of the Premier League games coming up this weekend. Obviously, it's probably the biggest game of the season so far. It's Guardiola v Klopp. It's City v Liverpool. I'm certainly nervous for it. It's a important kind of. It's a chance for both teams to lay down a marker going into the international break. Be huge for momentum. Without the Etihad, of course. Charlie, how are you feeling for it? Do you have any idea who's going to win? Where do you think the game's going to be won or lost?
I actually can't really predict the winner. Like it's quite close. I think if you had Van Dijk, obviously, then I'd say you would be favourites, even though City are home. But like both teams have dropped needless points. I think City are just getting up to the level that we expected them to be at. Diaz and Laporte are playing really well, but Liverpool have actually been quite impressive since Van Dijk has been injured. That guy Phillips has come in and done a decent enough job. So it could go either way. It's tough to predict.
Yeah, I think it's just hopefully now. Like I'd be more confident, obviously, with Van Dijk. Um, it's just I think we'll do. I think with Fabinho being out as well, I still think we'll be fine if matchup starts. Luke, I want to ask you: the Jota scored a hat trick during the week. Does he keep his place, or do you rotate it again and bring Fabinho back in?
I mean, I don't think you can really drop someone after they've scored a hat trick, but I wouldn't actually be surprised if Klopp just did it because Jota, he's quite new to the squad, but he could also play Firmino like in a attacking midfield role or something. So there's a lot of options he could go with. So it's up to him really. He could easily fit Firmino and Jota back or both in the team, or it's just whether he wants to do it or not.
Yeah, I think he'll go for the 4-3-3, so it'll be one or the other, I think. It's a tough one actually. I think for me, like I think it's important you do go on form. I wouldn't mind Firmino in there, like sitting on Rodri and causing him problems, because I think that's going to be the key for us. We need to bypass that midfield when we transition, and because I think Laporte and Diaz definitely have improved the defense, but I don't think they're world beaters as such. I think there are definitely chances to get around them and create chances as well. I think for City, really, like, well, that's Charlie for this. Do you think they need to win this? And do you think Pep actually needs this more than Klopp does, or do you think it's more just like the points really don't matter at this point of the season, even if he loses?
I think Pep definitely needs to get the win here just to show that like he's bounced back from last season because they did spend quite a bit of money. I know they still have injuries. I think Jesus was back on the bench midweek, so he might be an option. But Aguero's out again, as far as I know. So I mean that's unlucky. But like with the squad they have, they should definitely be causing us some problems. And like you're not going to get a better chance to beat Liverpool when they don't have Van Dijk
Yeah,
and Fabinho, or
yeah. I'm
possibly
asking.
Fabinho. I don't know
Oh
whether he's
yeah,
fit or not.
yeah. No, he's not. He's not. He's definitely not. He's not back till after the international break. But I think I'm very interested to see who he picks in the field for us. I would probably go with Henson, Wijnaldum, Keita, not Milner. I love Milner, but no, not against City. Um, I think our team, Mata will probably play definitely. He's fit now. He'll play alongside Gomez. Allison's back in. So like, it still is a pretty strong team for us. Um, I think it'd be interesting to see how we deal with or how we deal with how Pep's gonna play because we know Pep recently has completely lost, well, not lost the plot, but like he's completely changed his style in certain games. Do you see him? Oh, this for Luke. Do you see him change his style, or do you think he'll just stay with his 4-3-3? is trust the 4-3-3 and try hold on to the ball and suffocate Liverpool.
Yeah, I think he'll stay the same for this one. I'd say he'll play 4-3-3. I'm not sure if he'll start Jesus or not, but according to reports, Ferran Torres has been very good up front for them recently, so he might start there. He might be able to give the centre backs a few problems, but yeah, I think Pep will probably stick with his system considering they're the home team.
Yeah, I think the to be honest, I look at City's team and it's just De Bruyne. He's very hard to kind of take out of the game because he picks the ball a lot. But if we can somehow neutralize him, I think we've more avenues to control the game. I know Thiago is missing. I'm seeing here. Yeah, he's not gonna feature. But I think if we can somehow see the left back Salah, like they don't like Zinchenko has played there a little bit. Mendy has been shocking there. I think they play Cancelo there. No, I think they do. Anyways, I think that would be huge. I think Salah in the form he's in, Pep needs to effectively pick the right man for to play left back. If he doesn't, I mean the form Salah's in, like he's gonna score goals. I think there's gonna be goals anyway, regardless of who starts or not and how the game goes. I just think both teams have been great defensively. I think it'll get to a point where they'll just go at each other. So I'm gonna go with jeez. I want to try to be optimistic, but like it is City. I'll go with 2-2. 2-2 draw.
I'm gonna go with 1-1.
Luke?
I'm actually going to go with 2-1 to Liverpool. I just think City haven't been great in attack the last few games. They look like they're just scraping wins, and I think Liverpool have the ability to score against City. So I think Liverpool will win 2-1.
I mean, I'd absolutely love that. I think it's such an important game for us, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm not really as nervous as I thought I would, but I'm looking forward to it on Sunday. Next, we have to unfortunately move to Manchester United. Up against Everton, lost to Istanbul back this year midweek. It was all going well. Leipzig, wins against Leipzig, Newcastle, and then Arsenal at home. Just it all came crashing down. Charlie, how you feeling going into this game? Are you confident? Do you think this is Ollie's last chance to keep his job? Or do you think he's just not going to get sacked anyway?
I mean, surely it's got to be one of his last chances because, like, look, if you look at the league table, I know there's not that many games played, and we have a game in hand, but it's disgraceful that Manchester United are sitting in 15th place and can't go to places like Istanbul against a Premier League tribute show, really, of a team and lose to them in the embarrassing manner that we did. I mean, we didn't even create any chances. Martial's header was a half chance. It was a great finish, but like I wouldn't put it down as a like opportunity that he was certain to score. So we didn't create anything. It was a really poor performance, and it was the same against Arsenal and Chelsea. Like I don't know. We pass around the back. We're doing all right. We then try to play through the thirds with the likes of McTominay, Fred, Matic, and it just doesn't work. I don't know. And part of that is the poorness of the midfield, but also the attackers. I know they've scored lots of goals, but I have to criticize them here. When we get to the edge of the ball or anywhere around the ball, all you see is Rashford standing there, Martial standing there, Greenwood standing there. They don't make any runs in behind. They just stand on the edge of the ball and expect to be picked out. You can't score without movement. Once you get to the edge of the box, that's where you have to be making your runs, playing your clever passes, and there's no movement of any description most of the time. I mean, most of the time, Martial, he stands in between the two centre backs trying to occupy them. Rashford then comes slightly inside, stands between the left back and the centre back, but neither of them make any runs as good as players as they are. And if I don't know if we brought in maybe Pochettino or something, just give them some sort of attacking system, show them what to do. Or so I know they're quality players, but like just have like a system of runs like City do to get Sterling in and get their Mahrez in. Maybe we could improve slightly because at the moment, I mean, Ollie's just relying on individual brilliance and it's not coming at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to stay for obvious reasons, but I think we've all kind of known team seems to go through this boom, just winning loads of results. But it doesn't just seem that you can't really get an in between like a consistency. I like you can't really see like a genuine kind of like steady improvement. It's like we're winning all these games, we're playing brilliant football, and then we lose someone who's terrible. I just go boom straight there. Luke, is Poch the right man? Are you kind of done with Ollie now and just want Poch to come in, or are you willing to give Ollie one more chance?
I'll have to answer that question after Everton. To be honest, if he gets the win against Everton, then yeah, give him the next few games, see if he can get a run of wins together. But a loss against Everton would be pretty catastrophic, to be honest. And I'm actually worried for us again in this one. I mean, Calvert-Lewin against those two centre backs who got aerially dominated by Demba Ba on Wednesday. I mean, it's not looking good. Like you can say Calvert-Lewin, he's not really a world-class finisher, but one thing he is probably world-class at is jumping and heading the ball. So like if James can swing a few balls in, then I'd say they're bound to score at least once. So we're going to have to put together a way better attacking performance than we did in the last 3 games. Otherwise, we don't have any chance here.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, I think Ollie. I think we've all known that Ollie's just not the right man. And look, I have to give credit where credit's due. Has improved the team. He has got rid of the deadwood. He has allowed for the club to kind of like establish some sort of a platform. Might not be a system, but now there's a group of players there under the right manager that can do something with a bit more investment. Do you think, looking back, you'll look back on this, say a Pochettino comes in and 5 years later, you win loads of trophies. Charlie, do you think you'll look back at this and go, you know what, this probably benefited us. We didn't have Pochettino during that transition time. We gave Pochettino a team that could challenge for trophies without having him to go through the process of having to, revolutionize the team. We had Ollie in there who did it for him. So you think you'll look back on this and go, you know what, maybe it was right that Ollie actually came in for a transition period.
He definitely deserves credit. Like he's gotten rid of most of the players that the fans don't like Andreas and Smalling. Even though I was an advocate for Smalling to play, but never mind. And he's got rid of the players that seem to not be like in his plans, and that's fair enough. But at the end of the day, he's not getting the best out of the players that are in his plans, and that's his problem. Like we can give him credit for getting rid of these players, but he's not performing with the players he's got. Like the sale of Lukaku, I certainly wasn't in agreement with. I think Lukaku is one of the best strikers in Europe, and we just blatantly disrespected him. I mean, Ollie was talking about throwing him out on the wing just so Rashford could play down the middle, and turned out Rashford couldn't play down the middle, so Martial's there now. Like, you can't just be discarding world-class players left, right, and centre like Di Maria, Lukaku. We shouldn't be getting rid of these. We should be giving them the chance to excel. Even like, it's just poor. Like, I don't know whether it was the player attitudes, but like too many signings just haven't worked out. Like, I can't remember the last time Liverpool have signed a flop other than Adrian, but like, is that really a big signing? Like, he wasn't really meant to play. But if you look at United, nearly at least 70% of their last few signings have been flops. Now, that's got to be looked at in the recruitment section, because obviously Ollie didn't get the players he wanted. That's not his fault, but even still, our squad shouldn't be sitting 15th to the table, and we should be getting better results. I think actually just on that,
completely valid points there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, go ahead, Luke. Sorry.
Just against the bigger teams, Ollie seems to come out, and he actually has some good tactics. Like, he pushed Liverpool's fullbacks back at Old Trafford last year. You think, oh yeah, that's good. We got a draw out of the game. But against the smaller teams, it just seems like, yeah, we'll throw on all our good players and just hope for a goal. I mean, there was an account on Twitter, and he does analysis on the United games, and I was just looking at our shape, and Wan-Bissaka's not pushed on. Greenwood is inside, or Mada, or whoever it is. We have no right-hand side whatsoever. At one stage, 7 of our 11 players were all on the left-hand side of the pitch. Like, it's so easy to defend again. It's just, there doesn't seem to be any setup of any description. And against the smaller teams, I think they look all good. Like, centre-backs from Burnley and all, like, you think of Ben Mee and Tarkowski, they look great. Oh yeah, heading the balls out of the ball. But one thing they're not good at is playing out from the back and getting put under pressure. And United, they just don't seem to want to put any press on whatsoever. They just drop off, let teams pass the ball around. Like, you're not going to make a mistake if you're not under any pressure. So I think if Poch came in, he could definitely implement a system where we could at least high press and maybe try and, because if you look, most of Liverpool's goals come from winning the ball up high up the pitch, swinging across in, and then there's a goal. But United just don't win the ball back in the final third whatsoever.
Yeah, the shape I saw against Istanbul, he was left on the halfway line. That was like Sunday leaving day. I rushed forward and just rush forward at the end of the game, trying to nick an equalize and then leave the striker up. Like, it was just pathetic. I think the diamond, I just knew it was never going to work. Unless you were going to play Telles, and I think McTominay cannot play that system. He doesn't progress the ball enough as a 6, and he can't play as an 8 in that system. So, but he played 90 minutes against Arsenal, I think, and he came on for Van de Beek, who I think played really well against Istanbul. Are these kind of decisions from Molly? Like, are you just sitting there going, how have you decided this was the right decision? Like, was there never a genuine concern that, look, this guy is completely out of his depth and he hasn't a clue what he's doing? Because I think, if we're being honest, the players have carried him. I think the players before that group players have got to stick for them tools. But I believe they've definitely carried them because they're extremely talented budget players, and they've just carried them to this point. And I think obviously he has instilled a belief in them to go and play, but I haven't seen a system. I always see you winning games on individual talent, which just shows me that it's kind of just, as Ian Wright said, you're playing on vibes, basically. Like that's really it. When it comes to a system under Poch, like, do you think Poch's system will, like, who do you see actually playing under that system? Do you see Maguire? Do you reckon he'll be able for it? Do you see Pogba fitting in? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think he'll definitely try and fit them in at first, but if it's not working, I don't think he'll be afraid to get rid of him. Like, I definitely see him giving Maguire and Pogba a chance in the team if he does come in, because, like, the price tag for Maguire and Pogba is still considered for some reason a world-class player, even though he hasn't performed at a world-class level for at least a season. But, like, it's interesting because, like, people were saying Pogba and Bruno should be in the same team, and it's just not the case. But at the moment, Bruno isn't playing well either. That was a disgraceful performance against Istanbul. 33 possession losses. That is, well, like, if you went out for your Sunday league team and lost the ball 33 times, you would go home with your head in the ground in shame.
Yeah.
Because that's embarrassing. Imagine going out playing a game of football and losing the ball 33 times. Now, someone can say he's the chance creator. He has to play risky passes. That's bullshit. You can play, you can create things and control games without fucking the ball away. And like one of the goals was his fault as well. Him and Mata. Like at the end of the day, he didn't create any chances that game, and he still got left on the pitch, and Van de Beek got sold. And also, I'd like to come back to McTominay as well. We are 2-1 down to an absolutely dreadful side. Let's be honest, they are awful. They lost to Burnley last year. And he decides, let's take off Kunzabe, who, okay, he wasn't having the greatest game, and it was his first game in what, like 3 weeks? So, like, you can't just be throwing people in for one game at a time and expecting them to play well. He does the same thing with Bailly. I'm not sure why, but he didn't play well. But we're 2-1 down at halftime. We're going to need to play an extremely high line just to like get the ball back quickly, retain ball possession so we can attack them again. And he decides, let's play the slowest centre-back duo of all time, Matic and Maguire. Basically 2 slugs at the back. If anything goes in behind them, they're not going to get it. And then he subs on McTominay, our least progressive midfielder. He's not going to offer anything going forward. He can't play the ball through the lines. He doesn't offer an attacking threat. Like, would you not sub on Pogba? No, no, leave him sitting on the bench and sub on McTominay. I mean, it's just ridiculous. That is just poor management. Like, that's a ridiculous substitution. It's not going to affect the game whatsoever. Just subbing on a passion merchant. And he's by far our worst centre mate. I know I came on here last week and said, oh yeah, McTominay and Fred pivot, it's probably our best one. But in reality, McTominay, most of the time, he just gets carried by Fred. I mean, look at Arsenal. When Fred didn't play well, we were fucked because the entire team crumbled.
Yeah.
When Fred plays well, McTominay is average and he gets the credit because Fred has won back multiple balls and contributed to loads of goals like the Leipzig one and the one against PSG. But in reality, McTominay is just an average player who gets carried by his partner and doesn't offer anything to the team.
The thing with McTominay is if he didn't have a British passport, he would not be playing professional football. Like, people are like, oh, what a performance in Paris. Fred played well in Paris. He got spun like 3 or 4 times. Like, I saw him get spun by Neymar like twice. Like, I don't see any quality in him that tells me, yeah, he's a Manchester United player. I don't care the passion. I'm talking about actually when he has the ball, he can't progress the ball. He's not even that good defense. Like, people are like, oh yeah, he's good. He can get a tackle in. He's not really like he gets bypassed a lot. Like, I just think he's just an average player. And like, I don't know. Like, it comes back to this United DNA stuff that Ollie's obsessed with. Like, how is he getting in the team? Like, why is like it should be? If you're playing the diamond, let's say, right? Like, you obviously have Bruno, Fred, Matic, Pogba, Van de Beek. Like, that's how many midfielders are in there? Like 5 midfielders ahead of him. And he's 6th for me in line. Like, he's 6th. How is he getting in? Like, why is he getting in? Like, I know, let's say, like, Pogba hasn't been brilliant, Bruno hasn't been brilliant. But even them being average is way better than McTominay because he is shit. I've never seen it in him. Like, I've never seen why he plays for Manchester United. But so my next question for Luke is then on this midfield, why is Van de Beek getting not a lot of games? People saying, oh look, it's fine, he bet him in. Do you think that Van de Beek was all he's signing?
I think Ollie did want Grealish, but I'm not. I think Van de Beek's the type of signing you make when you have your team sort like Liverpool, Jota. He's the type of signing you make when your team has 11 good starters and it needs backup. Jesus Christ, sorry, the dog just. But our team needed 4 or 5 starters, and it just didn't get it.
Yeah, that just looked like, oh shit, we need to get a deal done somehow. We're doing terribly. Let's ring up Van der Sar and see what's Van de Beek's doing. honestly, I think he's fantastic. I think you actually have a real gem of a player. 23 years old. He can literally do everything McTominay does, but 15 times better because he's actually a good footballer. Believe it or not, he actually is good at football. He is good at kicking a ball around on a patch of grass, unlike McTominay. Um, you know what rattles me the most? Like, obviously, Maguire went through that tricky patch, right? I will move on to English bias a little bit later with Harry Kane, but I was going to touch on it. Like, he obviously went through a tricky patch. He had like 2 games, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's back." Like, he was bad against Arsenal. It was okay. It's okay against Arsenal. Did he play against? Yeah, and he played against Istanbul, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, he did.
He played, like, he's not putting in huge performances. Like, I can't believe, like, England fans. If he was fucking French, if he was Slovakian, if he was German, like, people be slating him. Like, as much as they slated Lindelof, who's been better than him this season. Like, I think Lindelof's been good, like, not good, but I think he's actually been better than Maguire. It's always been, let's find a partner for Maguire. No, find a partner for Lindelof for now before you get one. Maguire is shit. Why can't I can't believe more United fans are coming out saying he no, I know, like, on Twitter it's like reactions like, oh, shit, shit, shit. But after the game, like, oh, he's not bad. Why are more United players, United fans, not coming out and saying this guy is terrible? He should not be in the team. Is it just English bias, or is he actually just the best you've got?
Yeah, I think the narrative is being pushed by pundits like Paul Scholes. Let's blame Pogba, let's blame Martial, let's blame Lindelof, say he's not good enough. They will not say, oh yeah, Maguire's not good enough, Luke Shaw's not good enough. Rashford was shit on Wednesday. You heard nothing about that. Paul Scholes has a go with Pogba and Martial. Martial scored a goal. Rashford did absolutely nothing, but
Yeah.
we moved. So I also think the narrative that Maguire is a ball playing centre back, oh my god, oh my god, it's
Like calls
pathetic.
when you joined them.
The chat. He looks like he's a ball playing centre back because he slows everything down to
Yeah.
snail pay and then ends up probably playing a 5 yard ball. Like a few times he tried to clip the ball out to Shaw, and my god, yeah, like out of play, up at his head, up at his fucking Mickey, like put the ball on his toe or don't play the pass at all.
I remember I called this from the start when you bought like up ball playing centre back. It's like this lad looks like he needs to take a shit every time he has the ball. Like he runs like he's holding his shit. You know that little waddle you do when you're holding a shit. That's what he's like. Do you know what I mean? And like I just can't believe he plays Manchester United. Like why is this accepted? Like Rio, I know Vidic gets slated for ended up on his whole half time. But let's be real, he was a fantastic defender and he didn't cost 80 million and he wasn't baptized or christened, by the way, why did I say baptized, but christened as a ball playing centre back. He was a defender, got the job done. Like Rio, for example, when someone's running at him, he didn't look like Bambi on ice and all over the place and turn like a tractor. Like, and he's just been defending. And like, oh, he's going through a tough time. Oh no. And then Pogba gets slated. Like he's pouring over the dressing room. He wants to leave. His age is in his ear. But when Maguire is having a shocker, it's like, look, he's having a tough time. It must be terrible. Oh no, poor Maguire. Look, we'll move on to English boys later. I just want to move on to um, Everton, which look, they haven't been too good recently, but I think they'll definitely be licking the lips, looking to get back on form. Um, I have a few things to say about Everton. I think I've actually been led. I don't want to go back to the Liverpool Everton game. It was weeks ago, but I was let down by Ancelotti. Honestly, he just he was trying to score some points in the media, like trying to play off the Richarlison tackle, Jordan Pickford tackle, kind of by saying, "Oh look, they tackled us too." Like it was ridiculous. But anyway, moving on to the game. Good for you, dinosaur T Rex. Cretin is starting, apparently, according to Ancelotti. The guy that can't reach the crossbar when he goes like this, he can't reach the crossbar. He's starting. Um, he's starting, so that's definitely a guaranteed goal because he's shit, because he actually can't save the ball from going in the net, even though it's his job. because again his arms are tiny. But are you like, do you think Everton, that was just kind of like good start to the season? They started well, good run of games. Do you think we're actually seeing the real Everton now by being inconsistent, not kind of just being Everton, bottlers really, just being shit? Um, are you more confident, sorry, you can get something out of this game considering how bad they are, or you just think it's actually a bad thing? They're going to be looking to get back to winning ways against you on United side with no confidence. Like, how are you kind of seeing Everton now that they've lost a couple of games in a row, Charlie?
I think everyone knew they were gonna fall off at some stage. Like they weren't gonna be like Leicester and just maintain that ridiculous run of form they went on. I mean, if we're being honest, their fixtures, if you look at them, like you would expect Everton to beat most of those teams, and then obviously they got a good draw against you. But now they've been hit with a few injuries, unluckily, but their results haven't been great. I think it is still a bad time to play Everton though. Like with the form we're in, you definitely wouldn't pick Everton as a team you'd want to play. But I reckon I don't think we'll lose because our away form has actually been decent, other than Istanbul. But like we went to
Yeah,
Brighton, we won tricky flight. We went to Newcastle and won there as well, which everyone thought would be a dodgy game, but we made it look quite
PSG.
simple. Yeah, PSG as well. So I think we can definitely get something out of the game. It's just what United turns up. I mean, the lack of consistency this team has is just ridiculous. But I think if we turn up, we have Martial back. I'm hoping Greenwood will start as well. Just reunite that front three of Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood, and hopefully we can get the win.
Yeah. Last question for Luke before we do score predictions. Going to the international break. Let's say you lose in the weekend. Is it punch time? Is it time for? Is the perfect time considering it's an international break to get Pochettino in? I'll be honest. If you get Pochettino in, I'll be worried because I rate him as a manager, and I know your owners aren't spending, but I think Pochettino will know the right players to buy, and I think he'll have his own kind of recruitment plan. I'll be definitely worried if he comes in. But let's say Ollie loses. Is it Poch time? Is it time? No fucking about now. We need to be serious, or do you give him a bit more time?
To be honest, I think if we lose against Everton, our season's pretty much over before it even started. So I would get in Poch if we lose to Everton, to be honest, because like on paper, if you look at our squad, it's one of the best in the league. Like it's better than Arsenal's. It's probably the same as Chelsea's. It's it's better than Spurs. Like, and if you're not getting enough out of the players, then you need to go basically. So good players aren't anything without a system. So we need a system that can get the best out of them, and Ollie's not doing it at the moment. So if he loses on Saturday, I think we should get Poch in.
It'd be some use if you can get Poch. Yeah, I think he's the first target. What? No, man, I'm doing something. All right, go away. Sorry, boys. I think if I think he's your number one target. I don't think it's coincidence that reports coming out that he's been approached. I don't think that's lies. Um, I think he's definitely going to be. I think Woodward and Co. will definitely be lining them up coming come the international break if you lose. So the real question is, if you lose, are you going to lose? Charlie, are United going to win this game, or are Everton going to come back on top and United going to be left languishing the bottom of the table? What's your prediction?
I think when Ollie needs a result, he gets it. So I think it's going to be 2-1 to United.
I agree. I think it is going to be 2-1 United fans here. I think when it just looks like he's going to get sacked, he wins the game, which suits me. 2-1 United for me. Luke?
I think Ollie's luck may have just run out on this one. I think it'll be 1-0, and I think Everton are going to score a late equaliser.
We'll have to wait and see. Be some game. When is it exactly? What day? It's some
Saturday midday.
Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, I was thinking would it be Sunday? That'd be some cracking Super Sunday with Liverpool on 4:30. Moving swiftly along to maybe some of the lesser games. We have Chelsea v Sheffield. Chelsea, 5 games, 5 clean sheets, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, the competition or the opposition rather is one of the reasons for that. But do you think is Lampard finally getting something going here? Mendy's playing well. Thiago Silva looks like he's settled in. Charlie, I want to ask you, do you know, is Lampard finally getting the best out of this group of talented players?
I think so, yeah. I mean, he seems to have sorted out the defensive issues. They're keeping clean sheets now, as you said. I think Mendy is a lot better than Kepa. I think we would have won at Old Trafford if Kepa had been in net, just let's put it that way. But I think also Werner has come into form at the right time. I know most of them have been penalties, but, you know, a goal's a goal, I suppose. And then Ziyech has also come in as well. I think he's an unbelievable player, to be honest. The fact that they picked him up for 40 million, I think, pretty much
27.
Oh, well, yeah, whatever they got him, pretty much uncontested is ridiculous considering United needed a right-hand side player. You could argue that even City might have needed another right-hand side player considering their only one is Mahrez, I'd say. So it's a good buy from Chelsea, but I'm not sure what other clubs were doing in relation to that, because I think if you watched him for Ajax, everyone could see that he was a world-class player. I mean, he carried them in the Champions League nearly every time I watched them.
I think fantastic. I rate him so highly. I think he's one of those players that even if he had no interest in the game in terms of the teams they're playing, they were just those teams that I mean, he's just that player that you just love watching. I think Sheffield and poor. I just see a Chelsea win here. And have we? I guess we're all impressed with Mendy's start. I know we nearly slotted one bottom bins against Hughes in his own goal, but have we? I've been impressed with him. What's everyone's thought so far? Is it just a case of anything's better than Kepa, Luke?
Yeah, I think it is a case that anyone's better than Kepa, but as well, he has made some good saves. Like you can't say he's an average guy. He looks good. He made a good save against 2 good saves against Rashford versus United. And well, if you look at it though, like Chelsea's defense, it should be improving. Like they spent money on it. They spent 50 million on Chilwell, 25 million on Mendy. They brought in Thiago Silva, so it should be better. And at least for them, it is. Unlike clubs like United that spend money on defense and don't get any improvement.
Yeah, I think Chelsea are heading in the right direction. I think Sheffield they didn't really come close against City, to be honest with you. Bruce they might have scored. Chelsea at home. I guess we go straight to the score prediction. What are we saying? I'll probably just go with something like they seem to be winning games 3-0 a lot, so I'm probably going to go with that.
I'm going to go with a 2-0 Chelsea.
And Charlie?
I'm actually going to go 2-2.
Ooh!
Now, I think just when it's sort of like us, just when you think Chelsea are getting good, they sort of fuck up. And they don't fuck up in hard games. They seem to mess up against like easier home opponents. Like last season, I remember they lost to Bournemouth at home, so I wouldn't be surprised if Sheffield pick up a point.
Yeah, they drew 2-0 with Sheffield last season actually. At Stamford Bridge. To be honest, I probably won't be watching it. What is on? It's on. That's on Saturday, I think. If it's on Sunday, I'll watch it anyway. I've realised ever since like post lockdown, apart from the Liverpool game, I have not been able to track when any of the game is. Like in terms of the day. Like obviously I know who's playing who, but on the day, I used to be able to say, oh, like they're playing then. So I think it's just at different times because like they now have more times. Moving on swiftly to Tottenham. I mean, West Brom. Look, like I feel bad for
Like
them.
they just shouldn't be in the Premier League. Like
What a
it's
joke!
like,
It's a joke.
and I don't think they invested anything really in the summer. Along, I know Fulham brought people in, but they're rubbish too. Like I'm not really sure how they've made it this far, to be honest. But
Yeah,
fair play, they
shock.
got promoted. That shows how dodgy the championship is. But like I think we all expect them to go down.
Yeah, so I think the main thing I want to talk about in relation to this game is Tottenham. A lot of stuff during the week of Harry Kane, that penalty one where Lallana kind of jumps up and comes over the top of him. I want to know your opinion. Is that my opinion is that is extremely dangerous play. He does it regularly. Like there's literally clips going around him doing the exact same things. He looks behind to see where the player's coming and he backs into someone who is in midair. Right, but no, since it's English, it's he was clever. He won that cleverly. But then Salah, who gets kicked in the box, goes down, knowing that if you get kicked and go down, it's a penalty. He's called a diver and he's ruining the game. Why? Like, I don't know if there is a reason why, to be honest. I think it's just English bias. But why is Harry Kane allowed to get away with dangerous play? And other players get, you know, um, criticized for it. I think it is the English thing. I think it is the English bias. But like, even like, I don't even think most English players would get away with stuff he does. To be honest with you, I think it's just he's kind of like the main man for England, and he's kind of the poster boy. I want to know you guys. I want to know Charlie your thoughts first. I don't know. It's all over Twitter how different treatment for different players. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's ridiculous, and I'd like to point out that all the refs are English. Like they're not. I don't. I think they're hesitating to, book or send off England's
Yeah,
star striker, number one player. But I think across the entire league, there seems to be like the refs aren't booking people for diving anymore. By I can't remember the last time I've seen someone get
we
booked for
did
diving at all this
we brought
season.
a ruling that you could get
Like
banned for.
there's there's multiple times where they go to VAR or they don't give penalties and players just throw themselves to
Yeah,
the ground. There has to be a punishment for that. You can't just be throwing yourself to
yeah.
the ground every single time you're near the box, every single time you're in trouble and getting free kick. And I think mainly if you look at the defenders, an attacker runs after the ball and the defenders sometimes they just throw themselves to the ground and just because they're a defender they get a free kick. It's like the refereeing in this league, let's just call a spade here. It's
It's
appalling.
the
Like
worst referee.
the amount of
It's
errors
the
in it.
worst referee in Europe.
Yeah. The amount of errors we see on a constant basis, and we see refs now bottling decisions just so they can go to VAR. Like, show some bottle and make your own decisions, and then if it's not right, then you can go to VAR. Don't just use the monitor as an excuse.
Yeah, I agree. I remember I was thinking of you know what, there needs to be a full review of every referee, and if they are not making the required standards, they should be sacked. Then I realized we'd start next season with no rest because they're all appalling. Maybe Michael Oliver might just pass it. Um, look, the English boys we've talked about before. Um, they've I just at this point, like you're not going to stop it. It's always gonna be like that. It probably does go on in other leagues. Let's be honest. Like I'd say the Spanish league loves Spanish players. I'd say the French league will be more leaning towards French players. Bundesliga, Italian, you get the gist. But look, we'll move on to predictions anyway with Tottenham. I'm going to go 4-0.
Uh, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-0 Tottenham.
And Charlie.
I'm gonna go with 2-0.
Right. Moving swiftly along to Arsenal. Arsenal midweek they played Molde, didn't they? And then they beat me the week before. They are playing Aston Villa. Oh, Villa, that's a good game. at home, we've criticized Arteta at times before with his negative style. He answered the criticism against Hughes. What impressed you about Arteta's the way he set up the team out against Hughes last weekend, Charlie?
I don't think he did answer the questions. I think we made it extremely easy for him. I mean, let's be honest, they should have won 3 or 4 nil. They still have attacking issues. They can't finish their chances. And like they got a dodgy penalty. I mean, obviously it was a penalty, but that was just stupid from Pogba. And if he doesn't do that, it would have been 0-0 and nothing would have been resolved, obviously. But fair enough, they got the win. I think Party was sensational. He just dominated our midfield, even though we played a diamond. I'm not sure why we didn't sign him either. El Neni, I think he was the best player on the pitch. That was actually great call from Arteta. I think when certain Arsenal fans saw the lineup, they were questioning what it was and were sort of fearing the worst. But fair enough, they got a win. I'm still not convinced on their front line though. Like William and Lacazette are washed, if we're being honest. Like William was dreadful. Lacazette didn't really hold the ball up well. Like he ran around. He did a job by standing on Fred most of the time and stopping him getting possession. But realistically, you could probably get any striker to do that. I'd say Arsenal definitely need to recruit a striker, but then again, so do a lot of teams. So I think fair play to Arteta there, but I think it was made extremely easy for him by Ollie due to our lack of a system and the personnel we played. I don't know why McTominay was on the right hand side of a diamond, but we've already touched on that. So yeah, fair play to Arteta, but he has to continue this form now. We can't be going and losing to teams like Leicester like he did the week before.
Yeah, I think I'll be interested to see him now because I think apart from maybe the Leicester game, he has won the games he's meant to win, and he's lost the game that he probably was going to lose. I was going to ask Luke, do you see this Villa team? I think they were 4-0 down against them and they came back 4-3. Do you think this Villa team will or can cause United problems?
I think they can cause Arsenal problems on the counter attack, but their form in the last 2 games hasn't been good at all. They did make a late comeback against Southampton, but and to be fair, the free kicks were unstoppable, but they shouldn't have been 4-0 or 4-1, whatever it was, down to Southampton at home. Like, but looking at what they did to Liverpool on the counter attack, I think they can definitely get in against this Arsenal team. It depends how Arteta sets up. Like, is he gonna play an attacking style, or is he just gonna defend and hope to win 1-0 again? So I think if they attack, I think Villa can counter them and get in and probably score.
Yeah, one player I wanted to touch on was Jack Grealish. I think he's gone up another level. I think that was very smart from Villa to get him to sign that contract because you're gonna have to pay with the English tax. You're gonna have to pay upwards of 80 million if you want to take him off Villa. What's impressing the most about Grealish, Charlie, is it just him finally finding his end product? Well, he didn't have terrible stats last season, 14 and finished 17th, but are you kind of just seeing him just go up another level once again?
I think obviously he's their best player, and the goals and assist ratio show that. But I think he's thriving from playing with the likes of Barkley, like just signing more creative players to go with him. Like last season, he was pretty much their only outlet. Like they signed Wesley and Samata, who were both dreadful, really. They've brought in a striker in Watkins. They brought in Barkley. They brought in Traore, and I think there's people he can now link with, and like he's not their only threat. So teams can't focus as much on him. Like last season, basically all you had to do against Villa was stop Jack Grealish and you stop them. But now they have other threats. I think Barkley's been quite good. Watkins is scoring a few goals. So yeah, I mean, they've been quite impressive.
Yeah, I think Grealish always he just needed someone in that midfield to take the ball as well because even though I think he was the most foul player because he had the ball so much. I felt like he had to carry the ball up the team, literally drag his team to field with the addition of Barkley and other players. They can take the ball as well. I think, you know, I think they definitely can cause them problems. I don't think they will. To be honest, I think Arsenal, I think they have the best defense in the league, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, they do, because they kept a clean sheet against you. So, I mean, it'd be definitely an interesting game. Um, I think it'd be important for. I think Party's definitely going to have to do a job in Grealish. If he can do a job in Grealish, Arsenal should win. But I don't think Arsenal should go into this game expecting to walk all over a Villa side who have scored a lot of goals this season, and that was their problem last season. So there's definitely been an improvement. Just predictions again. I'm going to go with 2-1 Arsenal. I don't know. What are you saying, Charlie?
Yeah, I think 3-1 Arsenal. I think Aubameyang will refine his form after scoring that penalty.
Yeah, I hope I won't be too surprised if Albert can get another goal. Yeah, and that too is his ridiculous tally for Arsenal. Luke, what about yourself?
Luke had to get the doorbell, but he said he thinks it'll be 2-1 Arsenal.
Nice. Um, I think, look, that is there anything else you guys want to touch on? Maybe the Champions League. I think we have touched on United. We've touched on Liverpool. Not a lot of surprises, to be honest, apart from, of course, the United result. Look, I think there's another game actually. Leicester Wolves, definitely an interesting game. I think Leicester are looking good. I think they're going to probably win that. Um, we can cover it. What is everyone expecting Leicester to take this game? Because I think I don't think they'll be able to keep up with with Liverpool and all. You saw they fell off last season, but we seen, is this Leicester team better than last season, or is it just they just seem to be above an average bunch, Charlie?
I think like they did similar last season. Like they always seem to make a strong start, but they seem to tail off towards the end. I know lockdown didn't help them, but I sort of see the same this season. Like a lot of their fans at the start of the season were predicting sort of a mid-table finish. They weren't really confident, but they've made some good signings. Fofana looks good at the back. He cost 40 mil, so he should be. But like he does look impressive, and Under has come in as well, and he seems to be linking up with Vardy well. But I think this one will be a tight game. You can't underestimate Wolves. I'm questioning some of Nuno's decisions though, because like he continuously starts Neto and Podence. And I just think Adama Traore is way clear about those players. Like obviously Neto and Podence, they're young talents, but Adama Traore he offers you, he's going to go by his man every time and getting across. He links really well with him and Ed. So I think they should definitely utilize Adama more instead of bringing him off the bench in the 28 minute. Like any fullback will be shitting themselves if they're going up against Adama all game.
I think Nuno might be just trusting youth like he trusts Jota, because Jota's only 23, and I think he started playing with Nuno when he was about 19, 20 as well. I think Nuno wants to trust these young attackers, and it has proven out well before. For Wolves, like I don't know, I think losing Jota, I'm just saying it has been a miss. Losing Doherty as well, but I think they just seem to be doing fine again. They've recruited well. I thought Semedo was a decent buy, and I think Semedo's playing in a more natural position. A wing back, he doesn't have to do much. He doesn't have to be relied on defensively. I'll definitely be interested to see how this game goes. I fancy Leicester. Luke, who for Leicester, who's impressed the most this season? Maybe bar Vardy, because we all are impressed by Vardy every season.
There's three players. Charlie already touched on one, Fofana. He's looked excellent at the back. Someone else was interested in him in the Prem. I'm not sure who it was, but they were priced out. It might have been West Ham. Yeah, West Ham. Also, I'd like to mention Ndidi's been injured. I watched the Leeds game, Leeds versus Leicester, and Pappy Mendy in the middle of the pitch was brilliant. He filled in for Ndidi very well. They signed him a few seasons ago, loaned him out, didn't quite work out, but he's come back. He's been very good. And also Barnes on the left wing, he's been excellent. He has a great link up with Vardy. But I would have to say I don't see Leicester causing, like, it'll be a tight game, but I don't see Leicester scoring that many goals. I think Wolves play with a deep block. I don't think they will be very wary of Vardy, so I don't think they'll get cut out that much. I think they'll have few chances. They might score one, but I don't see it being a very high scoring game, as with every Wolves game, basically.
Yeah, I just, before we do predictions, I want to touch on one player, Connor Cowley. I think he's been brilliant this season. I think he's always been solid in the couple of seasons out in the Prem. Obviously, he's played for Liverpool, but I think he's been brilliant this season. Really, obviously got called up for England as well. I remember there was like, when Van Dijk got injured, everyone was like, "Oh, we bring Cowley back. He doesn't work in a two. He's in a three. He's more suited." Yeah, that was a player. I don't know about you guys, but that's a player I've definitely been impressed by.
Yeah, I think he's been good. I think Kilman has come in beside him as well. He's been impressive as well. I think he has a background in futsal, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think he was signed from some futsal teams, so it shows, you can become a footballer if you're good enough from anywhere, really.
Yeah, look, I get another intriguing match. Leicester Wolves, two teams that, they're not the recognised top six, but they're definitely two very strong sides who have aspirations to break into the top six. Going for predictions now, I'm going to say, so tough. Wolves are so unpredictable. I'll go with 2-2. Charlie?
I'll go with 1-1.
And Luke?
I'm also going for 1-1.
Right. One of the last things I want to touch on is going to the international break. We're touching Ireland for a bit. Playing England, I think. Are we? Are we playing England this international break? I think we are.
Yeah, we are.
We better touch on McGoldrick retiring. Oh no, I'm so sad. McGoldrick retiring. No, I'm so disappointed that lump of what is retiring. Honestly, I'm not watching that England game. I don't want to. I just wanted to touch on it. We could get Sancho against Edna Stevens. Sancho.
Yeah, that they could turn us over heavily, to be honest. I mean, we're dreadful. We could barely beat, or we didn't beat Finland. We lost to Finland. So whatever England are going to do to us,
We lost to
geez, when you think of it like that.
Team Pookie FC. Anyways, look, I think that wraps us up anyway. I'll finish on a brilliant note of remembering how shit our country is at football. Look, I can't wait, obviously, for the City Liverpool game. Obviously, United Everton tomorrow midday. We're back anyway. We've missed a few days and weeks because of college and stuff and other reasons. So look, I'd like to say, if you've gotten this far, thanks a million for watching. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Luke. We'll be back for the Premier League review next week. I just want to say subscribe, like, and share with your mates as well, please. That'd be much appreciated. So thanks a million, and yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you next week.
How do I stop the recording again? Just pause, is it?